Hi friends! Today we're going to be practicing writing the letters that we've learned so far in the alphabet. We're going to start with our new letter. What's this letter's name? Yeah, that's the letter D. We're going to start with D, and then we're going to work on the other letters that we've learned. You'll notice I have our drum paper up again because I want to use this to practice writing lowercase d. So I'm going to be using a dry erase marker and a whiteboard today. You can also use that, or you can use a piece of paper. You could use your notebook, anything you have at home that you can write with. I'm going to use a green marker because these are all letters that have names and sounds, but again, just use whatever you have at home. So I'm going to practice the lowercase d using the drum. I'm going to show you a few times how I would use the drum to help me remember how to make the letter D, and then you're going to use your wiggle finger to practice with me. Then we'll start writing. So for lowercase d, we're starting at the middle, the house line. We go around, make our C, back up, down the stick, and we have a lowercase d. Let's try that one more time. We're going to make our C around the drum, back up, down the stick. Try that with me 3 times. Use your wiggle finger to trace as I'm tracing. 1, 2, 3. Around the drum like a C, back up, tall line down the stick. Again, around the drum like a C, back up, tall line down the stick. One more time. Around the drum like a C, back up, tall line down the stick, makes lowercase d. Nice job. Now we're going to practice writing the letters that make the sounds. So I'm going to tell you a letter. So I'm going to say a sound. You're going to say the sound, and then you're going to write the uppercase and the lowercase letters that make that sound. So let's start with our new letter we've been working on this week. Write the uppercase and lowercase letters that make the sound D. Say the sound and make the signal D. Show yourself how to write uppercase and lowercase d. All right, let's check. Uppercase D says D. Lowercase d says D. Notice when I made my lowercase d, I went around the drum like a C, back up, and then I made my tall line down the stick. One other thing we talked about as a way to double check that your letter D is facing the right way is we talked about how uppercase D and lowercase d, the curvy parts, are facing each other. So it looks like they could be like looking at each other and having a little talk. So just another way that you can make sure your uppercase D and lowercase d is facing the right way. I'm going to erase. If you're using a piece of paper or your notebook, just move to another spot where you've got some room to write. This time, write the uppercase and lowercase letters that make the sound ah. Say the sound ah. What's that letter's name? A. Show yourself how to write it. Uppercase and lowercase letter A. Let's give it a check. Uppercase A says ah. Lowercase a says ah. Remember, if you make a little mistake, the little line down is a little too long on mine. You can always cross it out. You can erase and try again. We're all practicing and learning together. So it's okay if the letters don't look exactly the way you want them to just yet. A has the short sound, ah, but help me out. What's A's long sound? Yeah, just A. It just says its name sometimes. So the short sound is ah, the long sound is A. Let's try another one. Write the uppercase and lowercase letters that make the sound k. Say the sound k. What's that letter's name? C. Show yourself how to write it. Uppercase and lowercase letter C. Okay, let's check it. Uppercase C says k. Lowercase c says k. And our last letter, write the uppercase and lowercase letters that make the sound ah. Say the sound ah. What's that letter's name? O. Go ahead and write it. Uppercase O and lowercase o. All right, let's check it. Uppercase O says ah. Lowercase o says ah. That's the short vowel sound. What's this letter's long vowel sound? Yeah, just its name. It says O. The short sound is ah. The long vowel sound is